Compared to the Everdramus repo, the official WordPress image does not have all the PHP extensions installed by default. In case you needed an additional PHP extension, then you would have to create your own image and add all the extensions required. Moreover, if you want to use nginx instead of Apache, which is used by the default WordPress official image, again you'd have to create your own image. Let's see if we can install now with that nginx web server and the MySQL PDO extension installed. So let's go up one level to the WordPress directory. Let's create a new project in a folder. In this case, it's going to be custom bachelor. So first, what we need to do is to create a new Docker file and edit it. In this case, the name of the WordPress Docker file, I will call it WordPress_562 custom Docker file. So in this case, we visit the Docker library repo. We type here WordPress. This is the one. And then we go to the latest, and we're going to be using PHP 8, FP and Alpine. And then this is the two files that we're going to be using. So let's copy this Docker file, click on raw, select everything, and let's copy this in our custom file. One thing we need to change is, for example, let's change the permissions to 7.4 to 755. Escape, I write, and then I'm going to search for the extensions. In this case, I type /zip, enter, next, and this is C, guys. So I'm going to be using the PDO, MySQL, / and that's it. Let's take a look at version. In this case, we're going to be using WordPress 5.6.2 with this SHA. So whenever you want to change the version, make sure to change these two variables. The SHA1 code, you find it here in this WordPress releases. So you type here SHA1 and you copy this hash to your Docker file. Escape, write and quit. Next, we need to copy this docker-entrypoint file. So we copy the name and we create it here, vim docker-entrypoint, then type in raw, copy everything and paste it here, escape, write and quit. Finally, let's make that file executable like this. Now let's create our own php.ini configuration file with this command. We're going up one level and then we're going to create a data file folder and then a PHP folder with conf.d folder. And finally, let's create this php.ini file and, for example, type this configuration. In this case, you can put on or off if you want to expose in the browser your PHP version. And this is the custom limit of files if you want to allow the users to upload large files. You can also put 99, however you want. Okay, escape, write and quit. Also, we need to create a config file for the nginx server. So let's create the nginx config file here and paste this code. So what we got here is the server name must be your domain. So we can get rid of this. This is commented. D and D to erase. In this case, this is also commented if you want to add more configuration files for nginx. Later, we're going to see an example on how we can use this. Also, another important thing is that here this name should coincide with the name of your container. In this case, my container name is custom bachelor-site in the port 9000, and that's it. Escape, write and quit. Now let's go up to levels, and as always, let's create a.m file. In this case, we're going to almost use the Docker Everdramus repo. So first we start with this environment. All of this is comments, so you don't need to type this. And then we set up our database. Also, we're going to specify the MariaDB and the same database version. Also, the container DB name, site name, and DB files. Also, try to generate strong passwords. Now, let's specify the WordPress containers. In this case, latest, we will not use it because we are going to use a specific version right from the Docker file. But what we do need to specify is where are the nginx configuration files located, as well as the php.ini. Then we specify the container site name, prefix, our domain, a email for Let's Encrypt, where the Docker file is located. This is the directory where it is located, the Docker file, and the name of the file. And I think the rest is useless, but just for the sake of organization, I type it again. I save it and exit. Finally, let's create the docker-compose.yml file. So I'm going to use this version with this database configuration. And finally, we got here the WordPress. Since we'll be not using an official image, instead I comment this out. I'm going to say that we want to build our own Docker image with this context, Dockerfile, the volumes, where's the php.ini, the files of the WordPress, the database environment, variables, and also that instead of Apache, we're going to be using nginx, the stable Alpine. Where is the nginx config, files of WordPress, and we're going to expose only the port 80 because the 443 is handled by the nginx proxy. More importantly, also the Let's Encrypt variables. Another important thing is the network, which is web proxy. Escape, write and quit. So we're done with that, and now we execute docker compose of -d. Okay, it's finished. So let's take a look at our custom WordPress Docker image. So we browse custom bachelor, and again we need to wait for some minutes more until Let's Encrypt recognizes our website. So meanwhile we display all our running containers. So this is the MariaDB and custom bachelor WordPress and our nginx stable Alpine. After some minutes we reload the page, and now it's working. So let's install again the WordPress. This is the custom. We have installed it and we access. So let's see if we have already installed our video extension. Plugins, add new one, WPvivid, install, activate. Now we go to settings and advanced settings, video, let's save it. And yes, we have successfully installed a Docker custom WordPress image, fully functional.